Well, here we are, 2,000 subscribers. I realistically didn't expect that we'll make it here, and well, here we are. A little over 2,000. I mean, I am late, but some things we had to get set up before making this. So I want to thank you guys for subscribing and helping to make the dream come true. And this is where we at. I mean, I never thought we would make it here. I honestly fought graduation a lot because I mean, trying to be a VTuber, trying to grow, it wasn't working out. I don't know what's the issue. Trying to find an agency, a group, it just kept getting rejected. But I just kept on pushing. I mean, ironically, that's similar to the Hatsumika movie that came out recently. So, but that'll be a story for another time. Right now, this is gonna be the evolution of Grave Prower, but more specifically, the RWBY version, the original Grave Prower. Now, this is gonna have a lot of from like the original and to the present is a lot of changes. I'm gonna explain a lot. I mean, this is gonna be like some fun things, but I know this is gonna look a little crappy, the photos, because I scanned it through my phone, so I do want to say that in advance. And well, even the original artist, the original creator besides me, Grave, is shocked that this is happening. So just get a little snag. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but here we go with the original Grave Prower. And here's the original. The original from the first version of Grave before anything else. This is what's known as the OG Grave. Like, this is, wow. Back in 2018. So basically, let me just give the context of what created Grave. So, basically, in November 2018, me and three of my friends, which they're all related, we had a writing project to do for our class, because this is during our ninth grade year. And I'm gonna say this right now, ninth grade was the best year. I know they're gonna be watching this video. You guys, we gotta meet up again. We gotta do some chaos again. But anyways, let's get back on track. So, of course, I don't remember what the other two did. I did something storm chasing related, if I recall, or baseball related. But the main one, which I'm gonna call Weiss, because it's basically the nickname we always called her, because RWBY. But basically, Weiss did a story, just a writing assignment. Remember, this is not supposed to be a thing. This is supposed to be like a one-off thing. So basically, she does the story. We're just a normal school day. We go on recess, and usually we just watch videos together on one of the phones, on one of their phones. I didn't have my phone with me during class, so they were lucky on that. But basically, they were watching RWBY. We always watching RWBY, the four of us. And this is how her version had a portal just come out of nowhere. I kind of like convinced the idea to change it into have a lightning bolt strike the phone, make it more realistic and also kind of entertaining. If you put into thought, a portal just come out of nowhere, not only someone else probably used as like overused, but just doesn't put two together. It just doesn't work. So here's my kind of little twist to it. So basically, it was a cloudy day, but it started to get worse. It was stormy, but it was no rain, so we were still outside. Suddenly, a lightning bolt strikes the phone. Everyone, and also basically, if this was animated, the screen would just go white. If this was showed, the screen would just go white, because no one would see it. If that lightning bolt strikes the phone with the four of us nearby, then we wake up in Beacon Academy. Well, basically the training grounds. If people who watch RWBY, they will know what I'm referring to. So basically, that's how it all started. Then, ironically, the best part is the three of them are on the floor, not harmed. Yet, where was I? I was stuck in a tree, upside down. I remember giving the idea, and then we just liked it because it just fits. Since I was the outsider of the group, technically, because the three of them, they're family members. I'm just the random friend. They just water his way in, basically. So this is how Grave originally started. Now, even though it says Xiao Long, because originally, at the time, Yang was my favorite character. Yang was like the ultimate waifu for me. Before Ruby ruined Yang for me, I just didn't have a last name to give Grave, because instead of using my real name like the other three did, I just gave Grave, because this came from Roblox actually back in the day when my name was GraveDiggerFan314. So people just called me Grave instead of saying the full name, they just say Grave. So that's what I was like thinking. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do that. There was no last name. Prower was eventually changed throughout time, just because why not? It was just to put it there. So basically, he looks like a simple guy. He's kind of like, it doesn't look like what we see currently. And his weapon, now my favorite book was Hatchet during middle school. There was a book called Hatchet, which basically takes place with a boy who survives a plane crash because the pilot had a seizure and then died, one of the two, something like that. So he had to survive, and he had a hatchet with him. So that's what kind of played in my head when seeing this. So I decided to have that, but also have a sniper feature, because in RWBY these weapons can have our guns, but they like also a secondary like type of weapon thing. So I added sniper parts. I painted the Gravedigger 30th anniversary purple colors while having the blade just the normal Gravedigger black and green flames. I don't know what was I thinking at the time. So basically I just called it Digger number 20. For some reason on this version it was called Grave. Oh no, wait a minute, I just realized it was the emblem. So at the emblem it was just Gravedigger number 12, since they had the goes. It was unique. It was kind of like Gravedigger number 3. So the weapon was Gravedigger number 20. It changed over time. So I actually changed to a whole different thing, but we'll get to that. Now let's move on to the second version of Grave Prower. Now here is the second version. This is basically the time skip. This is basically after the events of Volume 3. Originally, I had Grave lose his arm, kind of like how Yang did. But it wasn't like exactly how Yang did. Instead, Grave was fighting at him, and then since Yang gave Spare Ember Silga, which is basically explode shotgun gauntlets, he used it as he hit Adam's blade, but it backfired and blew his arm off. So that's basically kind of how it is. Basically, this looks like basically Volume 5. This is like the Volume 5 area. You see Yang's emblem on his pants. You see on the left sleeve of his jacket. You see the Gravedigger flames on the gauntlet and the Gravedigger chrome style paint scheme with the two little red lights. That was maximum structure. I referenced maximum structure on that too, so that was cool. But basically, it's just like changes more of a different look, but he also was a more of a actual look. Because remember, the original draft, that was a one-off, I think. I don't know, I got to confirm that with my friend, because I really don't remember much about this stuff, to be honest. But this is the original time skip version. Now here is the first digital drawing of Grave, but the only catch is this is the only photo, like the only source I have of its existence, surprisingly, on as of currently now, because I definitely know I have it somewhere, but it's like I gotta go look for it somehow. But this was done with another friend of ours who actually joined later on in our class, and she's a really cool person. She's a great artist, and well, she's basically the first one who digitally designed Grave. So basically it's just similar, but now you realize the tails and ears are there. Well, I'll explain more about this on the next photo, but first let's go with the weapons. Now here is Gravedigger number 19. Basically I just named the weapon Digger 19. I mean, obvious, you can see it's Gravedigger 19's paint scheme. You got the flames. I actually hand drew those flames. That was actually cool back in 2021. But I just took pictures. So I found on the internet of Gravedigger, just slapped them all together. So basically, and there's a more crappy improvement, because you can see how there's trucks. You see Monster Mode, Bounty Hunter, Ultra Logo Max D there, but basically it was replaced by other teams in RWBY. Basically the team Veg, which is actually the team name that Grave is in, and obviously he was the last one, ironically the same position as Yang. So oh well, that's a little Easter egg. But basically every team they beat, Grave would just put their names. It's kind of like how the Gravedigger tradition, Gravedigger beats the truck, the name's on the truck. It's technically like that. You see the old Gravedigger logo and all that. This is just a very interesting piece of history. And Brian Anderson, driver son of a digger, actually liked the post I did about this. When I posted the weapon, he liked it. So hey, basically that's kind of a achievement for Grave Prower at the time. Now here is just a little fan art of Grave fighting Grim, which is the monsters in RWBY. Those are known as Grim, which this art is really iconic. I mean, I like how you got the Grim coming out in the dark. Grave is just ready to turn around and destroy it, but basically this is basically just a filler. I'm just gonna put in. This is one of the Grave arts that exist for it, and I forgot the artist's name. Otherwise, I would put his name on the screen. I don't remember. I can't find the original source for it. I had just had this on my phone for a long time. But basically, now here's I'm going to talk about what happens to Grave, where the tails and ears came from. So, originally, I wanted to add this onto Grave, but I was like, how, since he's already started off as normal, like a normal human. So I decided to take a swing at gore type of stuff, at a gore scene. So basically what happened, and it was basically Grave. It hasn't unlocked his semblance, by the way. Semblance is like a very big deal in RWBY. So he has not unlocked it yet. So basically on his way out, he was on a midnight jog type of thing. He was just walking around the Beacon Academy. He's walking around the dorms and that stuff. But Cinder knows that he's hiding something, so I only did this just for the filler thing, just for that. So basically she tries to take his semblance, and obviously basically she kind of like chloroform him type of thing, put him in the science lab. I know there gotta be a science lab in RWBY, there's just gotta be. But what basically happens, he basically fights back, but the backfire is he gets pushed to a cabinet, and there's chemicals there, but also Fox DNA. Like, I just had, like, animal DNA there for, like, projects. So, he winds up swallowing and ingesting the Fox DNA, which is, I think, Fox saliva, and the chemicals. I don't know what chemicals it is. I just put chemicals. So, that is what caused Grave to kind of have the tails and ears. It's supposed to be like blood happening, it's like the ears, they just came out of the body. Like, it was an attempt to make a gore scene. It was trying to make a more mature scenes, and it kind of sort of backfired, but I didn't know how it really paid off or anything. But it's just to give the lore of how this happened. Maybe I'll get a commission one day of the actual scene happening. Maybe. Never know. But as we move on to the next one. I really do apologize that this is taking long, and this is just not prepared. Like, I never done this before. So basically, we're about to go to the redesign of the time skip, which still had the robot arm, ironically. So here is the next version, the redesign of the time skip. So this was just basically a little upgraded and that stuff. This is why I also didn't mention that this is when Grave had blonde hair. I forgot to mention that throughout all we've seen. I don't know when. I basically don't remember when I removed it, when I redesigned him again. But basically, this is just the basic normal Grave, just with the blonde hair, a little scar, and the robot arm. And you see on he has it's like a pistol type of thing. This is actually a Nerf gun design that I have. I have a Nerf gun, and basically I just like the design, so I just added that in, which was basically lost media at this point. But this is just a simple update, and it looks similar to what we currently have. It just looks more chaotic, but also cool. Along with that, we also have a weapon redesign. This is a new one called Digger 30, based on the 2016 Grave Digger Chrome paint scheme. And basically it's just a whole different paint scheme. It's still the same type of weapon, just with better design. And you can see how it's like it had a light. The basically the sniper scope, it just has like a regular headlight, but you also got a light above it, and you got G plus Y. This is actually when I was actually decent at script, ironically. But supposed to be Grave plus Yang. It's supposed to be like those romantic type things, but as I mentioned, Yang got ruins for me, so that kind of sucks. But it was still a cool piece of history and cool moment of me doing cursive. That was actually fun to do. Now, this is one of the iconic arts of Grave to exist. This is one, basically, this is just one of the serious looking arts of Grave I have. But basically, just more detailed of Grave at the time. So it's just really nothing much to talk about. It's just a more detailed and more serious look to him. And now as we move on to more the modern era, you can still see that blonde streak actually returns just at the ends. This has actually also been like forgotten too, unfortunately. But this is the time where the visor actually came back. The bandana was like retired. Like the bandana was like abandoned, retired. No one remembers it. So this is the no bandana era, I call it. But the visor is just still there. This one just shows his basic goggles, but this is actually high quality visor. I'll get into more detail later on, but I'm trying to make this as short as I can. We only got 2 more designs to show, and these 2 last designs, they were made by one of the best people, 2 people are like literally the best in the business for this stuff. Now this, even though I just cropped the picture, I mean, but we all know this version of Grave. We all know this one. This one was like the recent one before the next one, which will be the last one in the current version. But this is more of the VTuber phase, but also the after story phase for the RWBY series. Because my plan after how the RWBY story ends with me and my friends, is just Grave just becomes a race car driver, a stock car driver. Like, that's basically it. I mean, there's nothing else to talk about, but this was done by Super Fabin and he's known for doing his Gargura arts. So there was a time he did a fair deal, and it was actually before. It was actually actually it ended, and then I was like bummed out, but I also like said I'll just do a normal one, which is kind of more expensive. But he's like, no, I'll just put you on my wait list, and then when the time comes out, I'll put you in. So I was like, alright, bet. And this is when I have the best art experience ever. This is like one of the honest people that they literally care about their customers. They're honest and they willing to work with the people. It's like so cool. This dude still makes amazing art. Mostly his Gura, because I mean that's his favorites. But I will go back to him one day and get more art from him. And he's one of the 2 people I'll return to, because the next one, oh my gosh, no one's gonna be ready for the one who's about, like, this one that's about to drop. Like, holy cow, this is gonna be epic. So right now we get a good look of the recent one, but let's prepare for the ultimate Grave Prower that's ever existed. I mean, I'm literally gonna, screw it. I might actually add music to this one, make it more dramatic. And here it is. This is Grave Prower. This is Grave Prower from how I always thought of from the start. Like, this is just perfect. This is done by the legend Theodore Bank, who is known for making Hololive fan art. So this is definitely the 2K surprise I have in store. Well, of course, when I got it, I immediately put it on as usual. Like, I kind of spoiled the surprise, but at the same time, no one probably realized it. So this is basically how Grave has always been. Now, I mentioned the bandana returns. Like, this is a throwback look. You got the way it always looked. It's just more of a NASCAR theme. It's more of a Good Wrench theme, a Dale Earnhardt theme. Like, this fits the after story. This is just more the modern look. This is actually before the after story, basically. So now the visor is way more advanced. You got the Ray-Bans, who does the glasses with the cameras, music and record stuff. Yeah, I always thought this was growing up before Ray-Bans was there. I don't know when that thing started. I know it was like way after Grave was made, like when I first noticed about it. But it's basically that advanced, and you can play videos and games on it. The mind, whoever wears it, you could do that. So this is like one of Grave's most precious toys, basically. So here it is, and the music just hitting it. This song, I used it way back then for Grave, so it just hits hearing this again and talk about Grave. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this evolution from 2018 to 2025. It, holy cow, 5 years of Grave Prower. I didn't even realize that. Holy cow, it's been 5 years since this dude existed. But I really hope you enjoy, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Stay safe and stay blessed.